Sound Machine by Roald Dahl.
Yes. And now this one. Yes. Yes. But is this right? Is it? Where's my diagram? Ah, yes, of course, yes. Yes, that's right. And now? Good, yes. Yes, that's right, yes. Yes?
Well. So this is where you hide yourself in the evenings. A quaint little shed you have here.
Hello, Dr. Scott.
I happened to be passing, so I dropped in to see how you were. There was no one in the house, so I came on down here. How's that throat of yours been behaving?
It's all right, it's fine.
Now I'm here, I may as well have a look at it.
Oh, please don't trouble. I'm quite cured, I'm fine.
You've still got your hat on.
Oh, have I?
What's this? Making a radio?
No, just fooling around.
It's got rather complicated looking innards.
Yes.
So, what is it? It's a rather frightening thing, isn't it? Looks like a small child's coffin.
It's just an idea.
Yes?
Well, it has to do with sound. That's all.
Oh, good heavens, man. Don't you get enough of that sort of thing in your work?
I like sound.
So it seems. Well, I won't disturb you. Glad your throat's not worrying you anymore. Anyway, I'll, Oh, come on, what's it really for? You've made me inquisitive.
All right, I'll tell you, if you're interested. Well, it's like this. The theory is very simple. The human ear, you know that it can't hear everything. There are sounds that are so low-pitched or so high-pitched that it can't hear them.
Yes?
Well, speaking very roughly, any note so high that it has more than 15,000 vibrations a second, we can't hear it. Dogs have better ears than us. You know, you can buy a whistle whose note is so high-pitched that you can't hear it at all, but a dog can hear it.
Yes, I've seen one.
Of course you have. And up the scale, higher than the note of the whistle, there is another note. A vibration, if you like, but I like to call it a note. You can't hear that one either. And above that there is another, and another, rising right up the scale forever and ever, an endless succession of notes, an infinity of notes. There is a note, if only your ears could hear it, so high that it vibrates 1,000,000 times a second, and another 1,000,000 times as high as that, and so on, higher and higher as far as numbers go, which is infinity, eternity, beyond the stars. I believe that there is a whole world of sound about us all the time that we cannot hear. It is possible that up there in those high-pitched inaudible regions there is a new, exciting music being made, with subtle harmonies and fierce grinding discords. A music so powerful that it would drive us mad if only our ears were tuned in to hear the sound of it. It may be anything. For all we know, there may be...
Yes, but it's not very probable.
Why not? Why not? You see that fly? What sort of noise is that fly making now? None that we can hear. But for all we know, the creature may be whistling like mad on a very high note, or barking, or croaking, or singing a song. It's got a mouth, hasn't it? It's got a throat.
Well, so you're going to check up on that,
Some time ago I made a simple instrument that proved to me the existence of many odd inaudible sounds. Often I have sat and watched the needle of my instrument record the presence of sound vibrations in the air when I myself could hear nothing. And those sounds are the sounds I want to listen to. I want to know where those sounds come from and who or what is making them.
And that black coffin-shaped machine on your bench there, is that going to allow you to hear these noises?
It may. Who knows? So far I've had no luck. But I've made some changes in it, and tonight I'm ready for another trial. This machine is designed to pick up sound vibrations that are too high-pitched for reception by the human ear, and to convert them to a scale for audible tones. I tune it in, almost like a radio.
How do you mean?
It isn't complicated. Say I wish to listen to the sound of a bat. That's a fairly high-pitched sound, about 30,000 vibrations a second. The average human ear can't quite hear it. Now, If there were a bat flying around this shed, and I tuned in to 30,000 on my machine, I would hear the squeaking of that bat very clear. I would even hear the correct note, F sharp or B flat or whatever it might be, but merely at a much lower pitch, do you understand?
And you're going to try it tonight?
Yes.
Well, I wish you luck. My goodness, time's getting on. I must fly. Well, goodbye, and thank you for telling me. I must call again sometime to find out what happened.
Now, we'll try again. We'll take it out into the garden this time. It's a quiet, pleasant summer evening, and then perhaps, the reception will be better. Right. Lift it up now. Carefully. Oh my God, it's heavy. Oh. There. This position should do it. Will work fine. No need to worry. A pleasant evening. Good evening, Mrs. Saunders.
Oh, hello, Mr. Klausner.
Doing a little gardening, Mrs. Saunders?
Yes. Yes, cutting some roses for our vestibule. May I ask what you are doing?
It's an experiment. Pay no attention.
Oh, how interesting.
Now, plug in the earphones, turn on the machine, and tune. Still. Further.
Everything all right, Mr. Klausner?
Mrs. Saunders!
There, that should be enough.
Mrs. Saunders! Oh, Mrs. Saunders!
Yes, Mr. Klausner.
Cut another one. Please, cut another one, quickly!
Why, Mr. Klausner, what's the matter?
Please do as I ask. Cut just one more rose.
Certainly, Mr. Klausner, if you like.
Wait till I have my earphones on. There it is again.
Would you like me to cut another one, Mr. Klausner?
No, that's enough. No more, please, no more. I'm going to tell you something, Mrs. Saunders. Something that you won't believe. You have this evening cut a basket full of roses. You have, with a sharp pair of scissors, cut through the stems of living things, and each rose that you cut screamed in the most terrible way. Did you know that, Mrs. Saunders?
No, I certainly didn't know that.
It happens to be true. I heard them shrieking. Each time you cut one, I heard the cry of pain. A very high-pitched sound, approximately 132,000 vibrations a second. You couldn't possibly have heard it yourself, but I heard it.
Oh, did you really, Mr. Klausner?
You might say that a rosebush has no nervous system to feel with, no throat to cry with. You'd be right, it hasn't. Not like ours, anyway. But how do you know, Mrs. Saunders? How do you know that a rosebush doesn't feel as much pain when someone cuts its stem in two as you would feel if someone cut your wrist off with a large axe? Although it's probably not pain. A rose probably doesn't feel pain. It could be something else that we don't know about. Something called toin or spurl or plinukment or anything you like. But how do we know that? It's alive, isn't it?
Yes, Mr. Klausner. Oh, yes. And good night.
Now then, Klausner. Yesterday was no accident. I'll try on something else. Something larger. The park. We'll need to bring my machine to the park. And the axe from the coal cellar.
Now let's see. Let's try this large beech tree. No one about. Good. Righto. Here we go. Tree. Oh, tree, I am sorry. I am sorry. But it will heal. It will heal fine.
Hello? Yes?
Dr. Scott?
Yes? Speaking?
You must come at once. Come quickly.
Who is it speaking?
Klausner here. And you remember what I told you last night about my experience with sound, and how I hoped I might...
Yes, of course. But what's the matter? Are you ill?
No, I'm not ill, but...
It's 6:30 in the morning, and you call me, but you are not ill.
Please come. Come quickly. I want someone to hear it. It's driving me mad. I can't believe it.
You really want me to get out of bed and come over
Yes,
now?
now, at once, please. You have to hear it. You're the only one I've told. It's over the road in the park. Will you come now?
All right, then. All right, I'll come.
So, why did you bring your machine out here under this tree?
I needed one. There aren't any big trees in the garden.
And why the axe?
You'll see in a moment. But now, please, put these earphones on and listen. Listen carefully and tell me afterwards precisely what you hear. I want to make quite sure.
All right.
Can you hear anything?
Can I what?
Can you hear anything?
Just a humming noise.
Good. Righto. Here we go.
What are you waiting for?
Nothing.
Watch out, man! Run, man! Quickly, run!
The machine. I have to
man,
go and...
run! Great heavens. That was a near one. I thought it had got
Did you hear it?
Hear what?
In the earphones. Did you hear anything when the axe struck?
Well, as a matter of fact, no, I'm not sure. I couldn't be sure. I don't suppose I had the earphones on for more than a second after the axe struck.
Yes, but what did you hear?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what I heard. Probably the noise of the branch breaking.
What did it sound like? Exactly, what did it sound like?
Oh, hell. I really don't know. I was more interested in getting out of the way.
Scott,
let's leave it.
What did it sound like?
For God's sake. How could I tell? What with half the tree falling on me and having to run for my life? Well, look, we'd better get back.
Look, you stitch this up. This gash in the tree trunk. You stitch it up quickly.
Oh, look, don't be silly.
Do as I say.
Oh, don't be silly.
Stitch it up.
I can't stitch through wood. Come on. Let's get back.
So you can't stitch through wood?
No, of course not.
Have you got any iodine in your bag?
What if I have?
Then paint the cut with iodine. It'll sting, but it can't be helped.
Now look, let's not be ridiculous. Let's get back to the house and then...
Paint the cut with iodine.
All right, I'll paint the cut with iodine.
Make sure you get right in.
There you are. It's done. That should do nicely.
Yes. That should do nicely. You'll come and look at it tomorrow?
Oh, yes, of course.
And put some more iodine on?
If necessary, yes.
Thank you, Doctor.
Come on. We must go now.
You have been listening to The Sound Machine by Roald Dahl, dramatised for the radio by Jez Jameson. Mrs. Saunders was played by Sharon O'Leary. Dr. Scott and Klausner were played by Jez Jameson. A Padded Cell production.